Okay. Um, so I realize this probably won't work. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Why can only the rich and powerful change the world? I have a lot of ideas to help third world countries and get everyone, even the homeless, housing. And create real communities where people will learn and share their lives together. I just need y'all to give Global Megacorp a shot. With no money down, we can try to change the world. Now, at the moment, I am on page 180 of a 1,000 page textbook, and I could read through all of this textbook and, um, define and place all of the concepts myself, or and I just understand the programming language C++ all by myself, or if y'all join the Discord server in your chats, join the Discord server because the Discord bot is ready. Um, uh, I could get a chat or a stream and stream me reading through this book, referencing the book, not reading out loud, so it isn't copyright infringement. And I could build a concept map of C++ with help from people in the chat. Um, and then we have a full concept map um, with summaries of everything, uh, connections between everything, and maybe it could be like the ultimate guide to C++. We can make a YouTube video series on it, and we could really understand C++. Um, and teach anyone C++ in like 3 weeks. Okay, now we could also test the Discord bot on this server and see if it works. If it does work, um, then that's great. Then I think we should start um, the company Global Megacorp. If the like we can test the Discord bot on the server, and then if it works, start the company for Global Megacorp. Um, And we could also invite your chats as soon as the Discord bot works. Um, we can start inviting your chat and like every other streamer in their chat. And the way we organize these thousands to millions of people is with a Discord government setup. So as people join, we will start making sections for cities that only people with that city's role can join. We'll start making setup for countries. Only the person in that country can join, and states, the only person from that state can join. And so you can join one city, one country, and one state at a time. Then we'll have the world level, which is all the sections with the world level. And the sections will generally be consistent. Mods can change stuff if they moderate like a state or a city or something. So we'll kind of have like governors and mayors and shit, um, or mods to. Well, we won't have anyone like that, but we'll have moderators that can add stuff to that level and help push stuff up. And so the thing is, we will push up good ideas from city to state to world, from city to state to country to world, um, via voting, like with Discord polls. Like if everyone agrees this is a good idea or this is a good business, we should push it up to the world level or to the next level to get more eyes on it and to get more investment, um, or more people to help develop the idea. Okay, we will also have networked modded Minecraft server networks so that chats can play Minecraft um, with their Oshis or whatever and go to war with other servers and other Oshis in their chats. And it'll have excellent mods that everyone like kind of votes on. Um, mod pack developers will help. Um, it'll be networked with either Pine hosting or Bisect hosting, and we'll have a bidding war between the two. So the lower cost per server gets the hundreds, maybe thousands of servers, um, and big money. Yeah, bidding wars are excellent for that. Also, there will be market simulation because that's just an experiment I want to run. Um, what if there are like commodities and stuff that people can make and buy and stuff in Minecraft? I like kind of modeling them and programming them in, and we'll have like a bunch of commodities and stuff, and we'll just see what sells, what do people like. Um, could be very interesting.
In 2018, a nonprofit gave every adult in Western Kenya's Ahenyo village $500. Most of their families had lived in extreme poverty for generations, and this sum was roughly equivalent to most recipients' annual salaries. Despite all this, the money came with no strings attached outside a commitment to speak with researchers after 2 years. They hoped this influx of cash would lift the villagers out of poverty, but they also knew this could easily be the latest in a long line of failed philanthropic interventions. In the 1960s, charitable organizations began ramping up their philanthropic efforts, spending billions funding education, job training, agricultural development, infrastructure projects, and healthcare programs in attempts to help poor countries. These programs hoped to create a springboard of knowledge and capital that would foster financial independence and bolster struggling economies. But when economists started studying this kind of aid in the late 90s and early 2000s, they made some surprising discoveries. After running various randomized control trials where one group received education or job training and another group did not, the researchers found this kind of aid often had minimal impact. School supplies failed to improve education, job training didn't always raise incomes, and the benefits of nutrition education varied dramatically from group to group. These disappointing results even extended to newer philanthropic models. At this time, many theorists advocated heavily for microfinance, a model that offered small loans to aspiring entrepreneurs in weak economies. But while microfinance recipients consistently repaid their loans with interest, the programs failed to meaningfully raise their incomes. All these failures led researchers to consider a strategy many considered ridiculous: direct cash giving. Most philanthropists saw this approach as the worst kind of short-sighted philanthropy. They assumed recipients would quickly spend the cash and then end up back where they started. But when researchers returned to Ahenyo 2 years later, the results were astonishing. Business revenues were up 65%. Families saved more and ate more. Kids were doing better in school. There was less alcoholism, depression, domestic violence, and inequality between families. And these impacts weren't unique to Ahenyo. Since this study, direct cash giving has become one of the most researched poverty interventions, and it's consistently shown impacts that often exceed traditional aid programs. In fact, a subsequent study spanning hundreds of Kenyan villages found the surrounding economy grew by more than twice what was given out just a year after the cash transfers. However, direct cash giving isn't a silver bullet. Poverty is a generational issue that requires long-term changes to solve. And since this intervention is relatively new, we still don't fully understand the effects of cash giving on extended timelines. For example, a Ugandan study beginning in 2008 found that while a cash transfer improved some families' earnings over the first 4 years, the positive effect disappeared after the next 5 years. Then it returned again under the pressure of the COVID-19 pandemic. Clearly, we still have a lot to learn about how cash giving unfolds over time. But regardless of what we learn in the future, the theory for why direct cash giving works can help change how we think about poverty today. Where traditional aid programs assume that philanthropists have the best knowledge of a community's needs, cash giving programs believe the people experiencing poverty best understand what they need to escape it. For example, perhaps for one person, repairing their home is more important to long-term success than starting a new business. And for another, ensuring their child can finish school might allow them to bring in more money in the future. Fortunately, we can afford this kind of help. Today, wealthy countries spend $200 billion a year in international aid, and philanthropists have $1.5 trillion more sitting in private foundations. We already have the means to eliminate extreme poverty, but doing so will require these institutions to trust the expertise of the people actually living in these conditions. So, how can we design programs that actually help lift people out of generational poverty? Take a look at the paradox of welfare programs and find out what we can do to fix them with this video.
In case you guys weren't paying attention to what just happened, every single crypto just dropped 40% at least. And they halted trading at the bottom so that all the massive corporations could come in and buy it all dirt cheap. Absolute slaughter. They closed every short in the system. They ruined so many people's lives just now for the corporations to be able to come in and buy everything at pennies on the dollar. And the rest of us got the scraps. As usual. Oh my God. Evil.
We will have universal basic income via cryptocurrency that everyone can buy into, or will buy into. It will simply give one coin each month that everyone signed up to get one, and we'll see what the market does. Um, um, and FYI, different currencies are in equal value, so we need to account for that if we set prices. 1 rupee shouldn't be equal to $1. It should be like 1,000 rupees per dollar. Um, uh, I don't think we can set prices. The cryptocurrency will be likely US dollar backed. Uh, so we will have an ally in the United States, unless I think it's a bad idea because of the inflation. But inflation is already insane because of banks. As well, we will have charitable foundations set up for large companies to donate to and stuff, maybe get a tax write-off. And these will be great things. They will simply be Saharan energy. Basically, we'll have a massive solar farm in the Sahara. This could take a few $1 billion to get all the wiring done, and the raised solar panels on the Sahara, because that isn't being used for farming or any space. It's kind of useless. And with a raised platforms for the solar panels, they won't be buried in sand. Um, and so that would be good. We will also have Indian sewer systems. So in I believe it is the Ganges, it's flooded with multiple cities' sewer systems, and people can't use sorry, it's gross. But what we're gonna do is extend all the sewer lines downriver in one big sewer line into the ocean, so that all the sewer systems go directly to the ocean, and the river basically will clean itself over time. Um, we will also have sewage treatment plants for algae sewage treatment plants, and we'll like basically grow algae from this sewage, and we'll use the algae to feed fish in fish farms in the ocean. So basically, we'll have massive algae farms and fish farms for India. Great. That could really help them. As well, oh my gosh, okay. Whatever. Anyways, as well, um, we will we will we will have homes for the homeless. Um, and basically, what that's gonna do is we're gonna use broad group high rises to house the homeless. That's the charitable foundation. Um, I guess across the world, and excess money will go to um, the housing for global megacorp employees and people who want communes and stuff. It'll go to that. Excess money will go to that. And these high rises will only cost $1 million to build, as opposed to 20 to 100 million for your typical high rise. So that's really good.
If you remember one video today, let it be this. The CEO of ChatGPT was asked, what is the one trait of the people that are the most successful? Guess what?
It wasn't hustle, it wasn't grind, it wasn't stock investments, it wasn't reading books.
You know what it was? The people that believe in themselves to the point of delusion. If you believe in yourself to the point of delusion, you can literally do everything. Your body, you can do anything and everything. Your body will act accordingly. If you don't believe in yourself, who is going to believe in you? If you don't believe that you are the person for the job, who is going to believe in you? If you don't walk into every room as if God sent you, you are not fulfilling your potential, because God has sent you there, okay? Your aura should be radiating that. Believe in yourself to the point of delusion. There is no plan B, baby. It's you. It's always been you. Let's go.
Yeah. So I think it's, pertinent to say this that I was going to say at the end. Um, yeah, so far pretty far-fetched, but help, because nobody is going to save Chad or the third world countries, and I might be able to help. So help me. We help each other. It's all Gucci. We the goal is post scarcity for the world. Okay, that's my goal, or our goal. Okay. Okay. All right, moving on. Okay. So basically, we'll get rich from the friendship app, use the money to make a digital office space, invest in African glass making company for indestructible glass bottles. Additionally, we will have we will invest in African glass manufacturing, as the solar panels are powering Africa or before, and we'll invest in African farms. Basically, there will be steel structures that hold a lot of farmland, and they will be like stacked on top of each other and insulate and enclosed space, so that it's basically a greenhouse with artificial lighting. And bam, Africa has farms now. And it's the same thing that the Netherlands does, because they're the second biggest agricultural nation in the world, even though they can't grow crops in their nation. Uh, yeah. Here, and the reason we're doing African glass is because there's a lot of sand, and we need the glass for greenhouses in South America, and so we're just going to build a lot of greenhouses and flood the market, and we will use those excess produce to make interesting products, like mozzarella sauce made from strawberries instead of tomatoes. A lot of inventive ideas like that. And also unbreakable glass containers to combat, uh, I guess, um, yeah, just unbreakable glass containers to compete, and everything will be in glass containers, unbreakable glass, to be compete with large food companies.
People have been creating Prince Rupert's drops for thousands of years, but it wasn't until recently that scientists finally figured out how they work. The process for creating one of these drops is extremely simple. A drop of molten glass is allowed to fall into cold water, and that's it. Once it cools, the result is a tadpole-shaped piece of glass with a bulbous head and a long, thin tail. However, what makes these glass baubles so intriguing is their bizarre properties. Because of the way molten glass cools in water, the heads have an incredibly high surface compressive strength, with a surface strength of up to 100 100,000 psi, the head of a Prince Rupert drop can withstand blows from a hammer and even shatter bullets. However, any damage to the fragile tail will cause the entire structure to explode into a powder of glass. After thousands of years, the reason for this was finally determined thanks to high-speed imaging technology. While the thin outer layer of the head has high compressive stress, the interior has high tension forces. This creates unstable equilibrium, and when cracks from the tail propagate through the length of the drop, the entire system shatters.
In greenhouse gases, start Global Megacorp in Ireland for tax purposes, just like Apple did.
Now, Apple's offshore tax strategy is one of the most famous examples of legal tax avoidance in modern history. In the early 2000s, Apple set up subsidiaries in Ireland that technically owned the rights to sell Apple products outside the US. This allowed them to funnel profits from iPhones, iPads, and Macs sold across Europe, Asia, and Africa into low-tax entities, avoiding the standard corporate tax rates almost entirely.
So basically, we're going to have commission-based payment for Global Megacorp employees. It's going to be the contract. If you enter the Discord, you're accepting that you're part of a Global Megacorp. I don't know. Whatever. Anyways, the point is, employees, commission-based, and also there will be multiple apps that we will utilize, namely the Castle Guidebook and the Finance app, which are you can invest in companies on our Finance app. We'll have our own stock market, of course, and the Castle Guidebook will be inventory. You just take a picture of where you store this, and this. Take a picture of this, and this. Store it. Now you know where that is. AI will help you. If you have AI cameras in your house, they will tell you where you left something. And then you can have barcode scanners for every object in your house. Scan them, scan the thing when you put it away. And so that's scalable to businesses. And we can have neighbors sharing tools in like, okay, this tool is ready for pickup. I scanned the bin. Or like, the line of where people are using this tool if it keeps getting traded around, who has it last. So neighborhoods could get really efficient with this. We could have supply chains with this, and yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, and also we could have guilds, guilds with apprenticeships and stuff. That would be cool. That could be like connect the apps finance. That could be with the I don't know. We'll see. We will also have people doing every job imaginable. So if anyone ever wants something done, we can do it. Bubblegum cleanup, it's been baked on the ground for years. We can clean that up. That actually is a job, and it gets great money because nobody does it. We'll have all kinds of jobs. Anyways, disconnected manufacturing. So we can produce Global Megacorp electronics or anything for that matter, as well, from people's houses. As well, we have a secret mod team making sure our websites. Okay. We'll have a mod team making sure each plan is above board in the server. And if we use a private internet.
The internet sucks now. Let's make our own. Specifications are out there. ravendevteam.org/betanet. Betanet's official specification. It's all here. Go read it up. The graph is even right here, fully explaining exactly how it works. Here's the flow. Here's the layer. You go check it out. You see developers, any developers watching this, it doesn't matter how good you are, you just have to be half decent. If you're a Rust dev, C dev, C# dev, C++, Java, Python, whatever, it doesn't matter. You see the problem with Betanet is that it needs mass adoption to work, okay? And mass adoption isn't even on the user, it's on the developer. Developers need to adopt Betanet. Unlike Tor, unlike something else where the user needs to specifically choose to adopt it, the user should have a pretty seamless experience using Betanet. You see, the problem is it's up to developers to actually implement this into their stuff. Now, you may be wondering why beta works over Tor or anything else. So I like the idea of mutually assured destruction, okay? Now, mutually assured destruction is when, let's say, two governments are bickering back and forth. One says, oh, I'm going to launch my nukes. If they launch their nukes, then they are both going to ensure that nobody makes it out alive. If you launch the nukes, everyone's dead. We are going to make sure of that nobody makes it out alive. Nobody survives. That is mutually assured destruction. We're taking the same philosophy and applying it to anti-censorship. So you see, if you try to take down BetaNet, you are going to seriously harm the regular internet in the process. It camouflages itself as regular internet traffic. It's damn near indistinguishable from regular internet traffic. It is carefully designed to be indistinguishable from regular internet traffic. And with the way it's designed, even if they tried to attack BetaNet, they would only be harming genuinely actually used things of the regular internet. And even better, there's no single point of failure with BetaNet. There is no central point to block or prevent. Even if Raven falls, even if I fall, anything like that, BetaNet will still survive because upgrades are voted on. A node's voting power equals its uptime score plus the amount of eCash it has staked. If 67% of that weight says yes, everyone waits 30 days, plenty of time to update, before the changes activate. And you see, it's voted upon. It is entirely decentralized in a way that no other protocol is. You see, Tor and all these other ones rely on a central team to merge changes. And plus, instead of completely volunteering free donate your bandwidth nonsense, it actually pays the relays. Relays can charge micro fees using Cashew eCash tokens issued by community mints. When the balances grow, they settle over the Lightning Network, all inside the encrypted tunnel, so no outsiders ever see who paid whom. I mean, I could keep rambling on, but honestly, just go read the spec. BetaNet's a public, community-ran alternative to the internet. No single authority, company, or anything controls it. Traffic is camouflaged to look like ordinary HTTPS, and blocking any one computer or link does not knock users offline, and if they truly tried to mass censor BetaNet, they would only harm the actual internet in the process, simply because of how it's designed. I mean, BetaNet deliberately reuses port 443, CDN-grade HTTP3, and optionally Scion paths that enterprises now rely on. Large-scale blocking penalizes mainstream businesses, not just activists, making political follow-through very unlikely. Mutually assured destruction. That's the way you win anti-censorship. Please, developers, implement BetaNet. Make BetaNet a reality. Let's replace the internet with BetaNet. Oh, and if this wasn't a great enough incentive, Raven and I will be paying the top developers who make the best implementations. Whoever makes the best implementations that catches our eye the most, you will be getting paid. We will literally pay you to make BetaNet a reality. Let's make it possible. Privacy and security on by default. That's about it. See ya.
We'll have a mod team making sure all those sites are above Ward 2. We could also make an online bank eventually based out of virtual offices. Move it to our own country we buy, Venezuela eventually. We need to buy Venezuela first to make a bank there. We'll need a lot of help to regulate the bank. A gamer-owned bank could be a colossal failure, or way more surprisingly, way more responsible than your typical bank. We could also have Globe the Alien give us a patent for spacecraft and mine asteroids and make trillions of dollars.
The stock market dropped $1 trillion today. China announced yesterday that they were restricting the export of rare earth metals. This was a huge deal because they control roughly 80% of the entire world supply, and those materials are sorely needed for industries like AI and computing. Trump announced that he was going to retaliate with tariffs this morning, which tanked the entire market. He later solidified those threats with an additional 100% tariff on Chinese goods. There's a lot of buzz online about insiders making trades to profit all of this news before it officially came out. Because this morning, people built huge short positions, hundreds of millions of dollars, which are now billions in profit. Rare earth metal stocks have already gone up several 100% this year, but they're likely to continue to go up as long as this trade war escalates.
Venezuela will have Gamer City. Now, I want to make a city in Venezuela with just like a bunch of commune towers from Broad Group and like 20 stories high. Um, so Bank, Glorp, and City are all dependent on what we're already doing anyways. So we'll just ignore those for now, you know. Um, so we'll get many student lawyers together and sue Big Pharma for wrongful deaths from side effects. They have 100,000 deaths a year and many more crippled. They should be held accountable no matter how much legal BS bullcrap they put up.
That girl's underage. If someone gave her drugs and she died, it's felony murder.
Okay, since I have sent this video to Gaben, I'd like to add this sail design. May funnel air through the middle of the ship, like an Aeromine solution, like an Aeromine wind turbine. And this could be made to capture the wind energy combined with solar across your decks, and this could mean the ship that never runs out of energy.
This wind turbine produces electricity with no visible movement. Aeromine's motionless wind energy system harvests wind on industrial and commercial roofs to generate power, often adding to other energy sources like solar. While the units are typically installed at 5-meter intervals facing the key wind direction, Aeromine says each device can produce power equivalent to 16 solar panels. Aerodynamic fins amplify wind, creating a vacuum that effectively moves air through an enclosed propeller, producing power. The company claims that a 10-unit system of Aeromine 5000, installed at 15-meter height with 6 meters per second average wind speed, can generate 100 megawatt-hours of electricity per year. The units are safe, low maintenance, and produce no noise, unlike typical wind turbines. They can operate at wind speeds as low as 2.5 meters per second, becoming viable in urban settings. Can this technology help buildings reach net zero? Let us know in the comments. Follow for more.
Okay. So initially, the Discord server will start making a hookup, summarize C++ and any coding language. So, or maybe Dino 2. C++ and Dino 2 are probably sufficient. Anyone can learn in 3 weeks of studying the material. Make Minecraft happen by Christmas. The Discord bot changes. The Discord bot will help people a lot. So we might have a friendship tracker. I think I already said that. Let's see. Yeah. That's it. So basically, I don't know, pretty good.
All of quantum mechanics in 3 minutes. Quantum mechanics is a theory about probabilities and amplitudes. All that crazy stuff about the observer effect and wave function collapse, forget about it. That's all interpretation of the real quantum mechanics. So if you have something physical, like an atom, that you're trying to study in a quantitative way, you need a question that you want to answer about that thing. This is what your measurements do. And quantum mechanics says that for any question you might ask, you can associate an arrow in a 2-dimensional mathematical space with each possible outcome. We call those arrows amplitudes. The square of the length of the arrow tells you the probability of getting that answer, and the direction of the arrow keeps track of something called phase, which will be relevant later. Now, depending on what question you ask, the number of arrows and their lengths may vary. The only thing that must be the same across all possible questions is the total squared lengths of all of the arrows. And some of the questions are incompatible with other questions, manifesting as the same quantum system having different distributions of arrows for different questions. For example, if you asked a question about position, perhaps all but one of the position arrows is very short. But if you asked the same object in the same situation a question about momentum, the total length might be evenly distributed amongst many different momentum arrows roughly equally. This is Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. So a quantum system can be described by these arrows. Now, as the arrows are not in a physical space, but really a more abstract space, there's nothing saying that the set of arrows has to describe a system that's in one place. After all, position is just another question that can be asked. So you can have one set of arrows that describes two quantum things that aren't in the same place in a way that you can't tease the arrows apart into two separate collections of arrows. When this happens, we say those two quantum things are entangled. You can't answer any questions about one without also answering a question about the other. Now, if you have two identical quantum things, their arrows can combine. That's what the direction does. It means that arrows don't just add together, but they can also subtract or redirect each other depending on the relative directions of the two different arrows that correspond to the same answer. In fact, this explains the double-slit interference pattern and why measuring the path ruins it. The last piece of information you need is how those arrows change with time. They don't change randomly. There's an equation that tells you how the arrows change in length and direction over time. It's called the Schrödinger equation. Now, a quirk of this equation is that if each arrow corresponds to a question whose answers correspond to distinct energy states, those arrows will only rotate, never changing length. And the rate they rotate at is proportional to that arrow's corresponding energy. And that's it. I mean, that's not it, but that's the core of quantum mechanics. All the funny business with collapse, many worlds, spooky action, that's all in the interpretation, and it's arguably more philosophy than physics. At the end of the day, quantum mechanics is a theory describing these arrows which tell us the probability of getting certain answers when we measure quantum systems. That's it.